Community members converged at a panel discussion hosted at Coppin State University to voice their concerns over planned budget cuts to the United States Postal Service. This event is the first of many organized by a Washington-based group called the Grand Alliance to Save Our Public Postal Service.
One of the things that privatization does is it hurts small businesses. People don't realize that when you start with things that you might think is small as a postal service to privatize, it goes bigger. She knows to knock on my door really hard so I can get my delivery out. When they privatize and they send to companies like Staples and LaserJet, they don't know that.
The cuts come as a result of cost-saving initiatives demanded by critics of the agency, who have required it to recognize long-term retirement costs now. It's a move supporters say has unfairly burdened the Postal Service with paper losses that do not reflect both the underlying health and importance of the agency to workers and the communities they serve.
It's been spun in the news and in media outlets that the Postal Service is in trouble, they're going broke. We have the facts and numbers to prove that's a myth. We've been fighting that legislative battle as well, trying to get that repealed.
Last week, a series of speakers elaborated on the implications of such changes, including the closing of mail processing centers and the reduction of hours.
There are basically panel discussions taking place all over the city to allow the citizens of these various cities and states to come and share what impact is it having on them, the reduction in hours, the reduction in employees, the slow mail, in some cases people not getting mail. And along with that is also the issue whether or not this may have an impact on the upcoming presidential elections.
John L. Seibel, president of True Ballot, is concerned slow mail service could hinder election efforts of potential candidates.
It is impossible to run elections using the Postal Service if the delivery times are so lengthy that you can't send something and get something back in the time period that you need to. And particularly in those states where all of the elections are being run by mail, you have to have enough time not only for people to get them and send them back, but also enough time for election officials to be able to get back the undeliverable mail, send out a new ballot, and have the voter be able to get it back in time for it to be counted.
Another concern are the middle-class jobs at stake that the Postal Service has traditionally afforded to communities of color.
For blacks, the Postal Service was a way to some financial stability. Why and how is this pathway being destroyed again? Can you say union busting, privatizing, and profit making?
George Askew, president of the Baltimore American Postal Workers Union, says that these cost-cutting decisions affect the availability of stable union wage jobs.
The Postal Service is now embarking on an agenda to do everything they can to reduce service, to try to attack union wage jobs, send work out to places like Staples Office Supplies Store at minimum wage, and disregarding the sanctity of the mail and who's handling the mails as it comes into the mail stream.
Baltimore Councilwoman Mary Pat Clark believes that big business is the driving factor behind efforts to weaken public agencies like the Postal Service. The ultimate goal? To privatize them and eliminate good-paying union jobs to fatten corporate profits.
Frankly, what I think is that the private sector businesses that want to cherry pick some of the services that they would like to provide instead. Not all of them, not the hard ones, but by taking the cherry pick of services, bankrupt the Postal Service from doing its entire job.
The Real News will continue to cover this matter as it develops. This is Megan Sherman and Stephen Janis reporting with the Real News Network.